an actor, a playwright, and a director known and respected widely in the worlds of Broadway, television, and film.
You didn't hear me incorrectly. That's just what I said. The message is for Larry, and it's for me, Hank, and it's just as I said. I love you. I don't know when it was I first started admitting it to myself.
To behave in an ethical manner was like trying to nail currant jelly to a wall. We helped Panama overthrow Colombian misrule. We created peace in the region.
From humble, challenging circumstances in his childhood, he fought for a seemingly impossible dream, and he won it. He's a role model for all those who strive to rise, become better, and to never stop reaching for your goals. His name is the extremely accomplished Laurence Luckinbill. You know, Larry, can I call you Larry?
Yeah.
You are so accomplished. I mean, you really are, kiddo. I don't mean to, be dramatic about that. You just are. I feel like I should call you Laurence Olivier or something like that.
Well, I used to be.
Oh my gosh. You have done so much, Larry.
You know, I was obsessed with my idea of myself as an actor, and to get there, it took 11 years in New York, struggling with all my stuff and, sleeping on people's couches. And then I made a breakthrough with this play that you know about.
Oh, yes, I do.
The Boys in the Band, which I was told I better not do because it would wreck whatever little career I had going.
Oh.
And I said to my agent, who was also representing the play, but you represent the play. And she said, that's a different story. But if you do this, say goodbye to your career.
Oh, my God.
And people took that and said, oh, what a brave man you are, a straight guy to do this play. And I have learned in my life that the people that are the heroes of that play are the 7 gay men who outed themselves in a time when the closet had their...
Was locked shut.
Locked shut.
Yes.
And that play was the ignition.
Her history happened, and there was a whole more of a revolution.
Yes, and a good one.
Yeah. You came from a very humble beginning.
Yeah.
And a challenging one.
Yes, I was basically in the Ozarks,
yeah,
in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And my parents were blue-collar workers. We were poor. They didn't admit that. They said they're middle class, or maybe they would say lower middle class, or whatever they were. But they punched clocks when they went to work, and they got a pay packet. And when my dad would come home with his pay packet, my mother would sit and work on the bills, and then whatever was left over, she put into this little change purse. And I once said, what's in the change purse? And she said, no dollars. Just
change.
Just change. That was all that was left after paying the bills.
Wow.
Just a little change purse.
Wow.
So that was a hard thing. But my father was an alcoholic, and he was a good man and a handsome guy. And
that's where you got it.
Yeah.
That's where you got your looks.
It's true.
Is he a looker or what?
I really look just like him right now. And so I could never hate the man, but I also had to fight with him because my mother was Irish, mostly, and 5'2", eyes are blue, and she had a terrific Irish whip arm, which I felt many times. But anyway.
It was different times.
It was different times. She fought with him, and then I had to intervene.
So when you grew up and you went off to college, and at first you thought you might be a doctor, but you changed your mind on that.
I've saved so many lives.
You've got to be you. You've got to be you and follow your real passion.
Yes, and I didn't know what it was. I just knew there was something finer and better out there, but I had no idea it was the theater.
Yeah.
Until I failed twice to get into medical school, and I went to see
It wasn't meant to happen.
No, it wasn't.
No.
And the professor who flunked me said, "You don't know that." He said, you've entertained us royally this semester. You know that I have eyes in the back of my head, and your imitation of me is really, really very good. And I changed my teaching because of it. But he said, I'm going to tell you something you don't want to hear. You don't belong in the sciences, son. You belong.
I didn't either.
You belong in the performing arts.
There you go.
And did you know that when you were a kid?
Took me a while. Was there a moment that you kind of knew that you had a bent for, performing that? And you said, I think it was in your book, you said something in the 7th grade. That's when you discovered you could be funny.
Yes.
And command an audience.
I became the class clown because I was a slacker anyway.
Thank God for that. So then you went on and, you went through college and you did acting school and whatnot in New York and elsewhere. And then, was it 1961?
I did
A Man for All Seasons.
A Man for All Seasons on a big tour directly from Broadway. And we actually played it on Broadway a week before we left. And
how did that make you feel?
Oh God. When I got that job, I felt like everything that I had ever wanted had come true. Because that was my dream to be something.
And there you were on stage, Broadway. My God, talk about perseverance.
Yes, yes.
And don't you think a lot of it is just perseverance and being you? Be you.
Well, that's the case. You have to just rely upon what you are in order to achieve something as an actor. And the whole idea of you're acting out something is just false. You have to find a way. The reason my book is called Affective Memories, affective, is because it's the things that affect you in your life. Those terrible and wonderful memories that you have that you can't forget. And when you get a character to play in a whether it's Shakespeare or it's something in a TV show, you can rely upon those affective memories to analogize the same emotions that you felt into that character, and that's how it works for actors.
No, you just gave me a nice acting lesson. My God, thank you, dear.
I'm not telling jokes today, but
that's all. You know what, though? I have to look at this paper because you have done so much. I mean, you've been an actor, a playwright, a director.
I like your handwriting.
Do you? Well, I can't even read it myself, Larry. But,
okay.
If you can read it better than I can, that'd be great. But, you've done, of course, Broadway we talked about, and television, and film.
My first job was a soap opera, my first real job in New York. I didn't have any money.
Oh, it was in New York.
It was in New York. It was CBS.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was called The Secret Storm.
I remember it.
This is The Secret Storm.
Brood about the incredible nastiness of human nature, and then I'll go to bed and sleep it off. Night, Susan.
Share the troubled drama of Frank and Susan on The Secret Storm.
They don't know how it got its name.
Oh.
It got its...
Is there a story there?
Yes.
Is there a little bit of dish?
A little bit of dish. It was first called The Storm Within. But their first sponsor was X-Lax. So they had to change the title.
The Storm Within.
So they
brought to you by X-Lax. Well, that made sense.
Yes. And
nobody ever catch
no. Well, they're corporate. What do corporate executives know
anyway?
Nothing. So until they try it and then say, "Oh, wow, that didn't work."
I love it.
So they changed it to The Secret Storm.
That is hysterical.
And I was one of the main guys there, and I had a great part. I was a newspaper reporter with a bad attitude, and I drank.
Frank? Oh, well, hello there.
Busy?
Yeah, enough.
Got some time?
I guess so. But I don't want to get into another argument about the newspaper, Jerry, especially not here in the office.
May I come in?
You went on to do all kinds of television. The Delphi Bureau, did I pronounce
Delphi.
everything? Delphi Bureau, Law and Order, Barnaby Jones, Columbo, Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Hey, what's that lousy smell?
That's dinner. Stevie, listen. I think you're really going to like what I'm fixing. It's the first time I ever made it from scratch. And you know what it is? Pizza.
Yuck.
Hey, Stevie, don't say yuck to Mary.
I don't like pizza.
I don't like it either.
And then all at the same time with doing stuff in, a lot of that was LA, I assume.
Yes, yes.
But then you were also working the same time simultaneously in New York.
Yes,
I mean, did you have frequent flyer miles?
I did.
But I have to talk briefly
Yes.
about your one-man shows.
Okay.
My God, you did. Who was the first one you did?
Lyndon Johnson. A lot of makeup, and it was 4 hours.
Oh my God.
I didn't want to do it, and I said to David Suskind, who was the producer, I can make my face look like Lyndon. He said, I have no doubt that you can, but we would like to try the makeup. Would you please try it?
Well, because he came to you,
He
right?
did.
For that part.
He called me up at a Christmas season. Lucy and I had an office in New York, and I'm sitting there thinking about Christmas, and I've got 5 kids. What am I going to get them for Christmas? And I didn't have a job. So then David called.
And the phone rang.
Phone rang, and it was David. And he said, there's a script coming. I want you to read it and call me back right away. And in 5 days, we're going to be in Toronto shooting the picture. And I said, what are you talking about, David?
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas, I said. And what do you want me to do? And he said, read the damn script. So I read a few pages of it. I gave it to Lucy to read.
And I heard what she said to you.
Well, I dropped it on her desk and I said, read some of this. She's a speed reader. I'm not. She came back to me in about 10 seconds. She dropped it back on my desk and she said, well, if you don't do this, I suppose you really don't want to be an actor anymore. And I said, David, I'm coming up to see you on Madison Avenue and I'm going to sit with you knee to knee, read some of this script, and you'll see I'm not right for it. He said, come ahead. So I get there and his assistant looked at me and said, we are so happy you're going to do this for us. And I thought, this is how it works. They get you that way. So I walked in.
Yeah, but he sought you out.
I sat down and I was knee to knee and I started to read the script and I started to hear my father's voice coming out of me. And in that Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, hard scrabble, biblically inflected voice. And I started to cry. And I just sat there and I looked at David and he just went.
Can you believe this guy? All the body of work you have done?
You will see if at the community center, the cultural center.
Here in Palm Springs.
I have dates now, May 8, 9, and 10.
Awesome.
And 23, 24, 25.
Be
Those are
there.
weekends. I'm doing, first of all, the Lyndon show. And then the Clarence Darrow show. I'm going to show it, talk about it, and then take Q&A.
Awesome. So May 8th, 9th, and 10th?
Yes, weekend.
Weekend at the Palm Springs Cultural Center. If you're in Palm Springs, as many of you are, go get tickets. Go online. He has a website. It's right down there at the bottom of the screen, LaurenceLuckinbill.com. And I think you can buy tickets there.
Yes, you can buy tickets.
And you've got more stuff that we're going to be talking about coming up. Oh my God, this guy is all over the place.
All right.
But I'm going to talk about one other character you did.
All right.
Star Trek.
I trust your message was received.
You can't expect us to stand by while you take the ship into the Great Barrier.
What you fear is the unknown. The people of your planet once believed their world was flat. Columbus proved it was round. They said the sound barrier could never be broken. It was broken.
No other than William Shatner
Yes.
gave you a call.
He did, yeah. And you know what? He said, I was in some damn hotel on a Sunday night, nothing to do. I turned on the television. There you were doing Lyndon Johnson. And he said, I want you to play this character for me.
Oh my God, we could talk forever. He's done films. My gosh, he's done Such Good Friends, The Promise,
Right.
Cocktail, Moonwalk 1. And you've done so much. The body of work is incredible. We could talk forever, dear Larry. But you know what?
What?
You brought me a recipe from home.
Yes.
And we're going to make it. It is zucchini bread.
Zucchini bread.
Now, I understand that when you lived in upstate New York,
Yeah.
that you had a garden.
I had a huge garden.
We're going to start with our dry ingredients.
All right.
And you know what? Don't worry about taking all these measurements down in the whole recipe.
Okay.
It's all at my website. You can see it at the bottom of the screen, thepalmspringsbaker.com. Just go there, go to the recipe section. It's all going to be there. Larry Luckinbill zucchini bread. Oh my God, I love it. So we're gonna do our drieds here. We've got some flour. I put some sugar in there as well, and we're gonna add a few more things. And then we're gonna get over here to most of these are wet ingredients.
Yeah.
We're gonna put a little sugar in here.
Yes.
How are you at breaking eggs? Wanna try that?
I'll try.
Or no? We're gonna put a little oil in here. We're gonna just sort of whisk that up a little bit.
Yes, I've never met a whisk.
You've never. I love it. And then we're back with our dry, and we're going to add a little salt, and then we've got some baking powder,
Right.
a little baking soda, and cinnamon. And we're going to just kind of incorporate those things a little. And then we're going to take that egg mixture. Do you want to just sort of dump that in?
Yes, sir.
All righty. And I'm going to start this up a little bit.
All right.
You got all that zucchini all nicely diced up, and we can just dump that in there.
All right.
Look at that. You got all that zucchini so nicely incorporated, Larry. Is it looking right? Is it looking like...
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm going to get these in the oven at 350 degrees, and they bake for about an hour and 15 minutes. Oh, the smell of that bread, Larry. We just pulled it out of the oven. Look what you made.
I know.
With that fabulous recipe.
That's nice.
Oh my God, it smells so good in here. You can smell the cinnamon.
All right.
I don't know why I'm using a fork. Well, the glaze gets a little messy. So provincial, right?
Oh, this is good.
Right. I'm not provincial.
This is good. Wow.
So Larry, that was just delish. Thank you for that recipe. And you can find it on my website at thepalmspringsbaker.com with all the ingredients, all the instructions. Oh my God. From Larry Luckinbill zucchini bread.
It is good.
And you know what else we have to talk about?
What?
Next Sunday at Just Fabulous, you all know where it is. Next Sunday, March 30th from 1 to 3 o'clock, Larry will be there. And you can buy his wonderful new book. And you'll also have the opportunity to shake this man's hand. He deserves it for all he's done for our community, I'll tell you. Be there next Sunday.
Be there or be.
I love you. Oh my God. The book is amazing and it's doing well.
It is.
You have had so many comments and the positive press about it just doesn't stop.
It's true.
But my God, you know, he was so candid in this book, Larry.
Yeah.
I read it last summer, actually. And you told it all. You told about your upbringing, which was rough and not easy, but you were forthright and honest. You were, like we always say on this show, just be you. And you were you with this book.
But you know, in writing the book, I learned who me was.
You know, Larry, this has just been a dream to have you.
Well, we have another
today.
date for Stupid Chicken.
Oh my God, yeah, we're gonna do another show. We already decided. What, Stupid Chicken?
Stupid Chicken.
Can you be stupid and still make it? Can I be stupid?
I am.
No, you're not.
We're both stupid. Yes.
Well, if you are, if I am, no, we're not. Neither one of us are stupid. No, we're not. I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
Oh my God.
All right.
You know what? We always sign off the show by saying, be good, be you, and be like Larry. He says be you and bake.
And bake. And bake.